Welcome to the Racing Nuggets podcast. I'm DJ Noodleman, joined by my co-host from the Midwest Racing Connection, Mr. Dan Plan. Hello, Daniel.
Hello, good to be here again.
I am so excited. Bubba Pollard, welcome to the Racing Nuggets podcast.
I appreciate you guys having me on. Thanks.
And congratulations on a stellar Xfinity debut. Did you ever dream it would be that great?
Oh man, I didn't. I was so nervous. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know. I didn't know what was going on. I kind of had to learn very quickly. Just everything, just all aspects of the NASCAR experience. Of media, of eating lunch, where to go to eat lunch, like just everything that's involved. The racetrack, the race car. It was a tough day, but man, I wouldn't change it. It was a once in a lifetime. It's something I'll always remember. So I'm very thankful to get the opportunity.
And what a comeback. I know that the qualifying got a little whiffed with the shifting issue, but man, finishing sixth and you were passing people. That looked great.
Yeah, it's we fired off right there early in practice and went P1 top of the board, and that really surprising. And we didn't have but 20 minutes there, so our plan was to kind of run practice out, just get as many laps in the car as I could, get comfortable. And the way the 88 team is for this year, not having a full-time gig, we'd had no points, so we started there the day with being first out to qualifying. And the whole time I'm hearing horror stories of qualifying, going out first, and I got that in my back of my mind. And I'm first time I've ever put new tires on, so I got a lot going on there. I didn't get a chance to get out of the car. We went from practice straight into qualifying, and man, I just messed up. Like there's nobody's fault but my own, and we worked through it. The guys at JR Motorsports, the team on the 88 guys, they kept pumping me up. You said, hey, this is what you do each and every week. You just got to go out there and treat it like Pensacola, 5 flags, and just drive to the front. And they gave me a great piece. We were able to get some, average lap times there in practice that built my confidence up. Say, hey, you're running top 3, top 5 speeds here. We just got to put it all together and go out there and do what you do. So we did that, started the race, and kind of drove to the front. I'm the kind of guy, I like coming from the back. I just told him, I was like, I just wanted to put some excitement in the fans. So, but I enjoyed it and learned a lot, and it was a great experience.
So what was that like, not having your sister Andrea in your ear for a race?
It's different. It's tough. It's new. You try to learn. Those guys are not. I like to hear certain things. And it's something that I've been used to she's been spotting more forever now. And to go to someone new and kind of learn their lingo and what they mean, but what they mean when they say things, is tough. So, and then you got to build that trust into them that they're going to clear you, or they're telling you the right thing. So it's tough in a lot of ways. So like I said, like the spot was new. I mean, it's everything was new for me.
Yeah, you did a great job, though, all things considered. And you were able to bring your family there, too. Are your girls old enough, you think, to really remember that they were there when their dad made his NASCAR debut?
I don't know. It's funny you say that because my oldest one, I think she knows, and they know what's going on at the racetrack. But they were a little confused because all my guys were there and they went to the stands to watch. And my middle one, she was like, well, why is Mark in the stands? Why is he not? He just was telling my wife, why is Mark not helping? So they didn't quite understand it. And then, when we were all taking pictures and stuff with all the friends and family there, we got back to the room that evening because the race was pretty early. And I set them down. And I'm like, and they'll, I said, one day you'll remember this, how special this was and how big it was for our family. And it was kind of a big thing for me, a once in a lifetime opportunity. So hopefully they get to experience it one day. We got enough pictures and memories that hopefully they do remember it. And because it is special and it's something we'll always remember forever and look back on it. And it's pretty neat.
Well, you got some good TV time to mention it twice at the beginning and at the end of that interview to say, if we get some sponsors, we can do some
Yeah,
more. So, has anyone
I was
come out
trying
of the
to
woodwork?
I was trying to plug it in, as much as I could, but we've had a couple of people, reach out, but there's a lot of you just people don't realize what it takes. It takes a lot, and you know, I think you just kind of one of those things where you gotta kind of see and fill them out. We do got some things I feel like in the works that could be a good possibility, but you never know. We're working on it. The junior people, the guys there are working on it. Ream is the whole deal was through Ream. I mean, they called me 2 weeks after the Derby there, and hey, this is what we got going on. We want to put you in a race car. Some things had to work out to make it happen, and but it all worked out, and I'm just very thankful for them guys putting us out, stepping out on a limb, and they really helped a lot of people. They've helped Christopher Bell. They've helped Kyle Busch. They've sponsored them. They've done some. Cale Gale got his first NASCAR win, and then Brandon's racing. So they've done a lot for the sport, and I'm just very thankful they chose me to give me a shot.
I think the biggest thing for everybody was to see this is like what it used to be like, right? Short
Yep.
track
Yep.
racers paying their dues, working their way up, and getting the opportunity on the big stage. And a lot of times, and you know this probably more than anybody, there's a lot of folks who just kind of crack out the checkbook and we'd like
Yep.
to go
Yep.
racing. So it's kind of nice to see somebody who brings a huge fan base with them. And I think that's what NASCAR really needs, right? I think everybody has been saying that.
Yeah, and I think everyone at Junior and me as well. I was surprised. Reem, they were surprised. I think of um, how overwhelming it was. Everyone reached out, and the fans and just people that stepped up to come watch the race. There's a lot of people that flew up there and bought shirts, and the shirt sales were good. Diecast cars were great. I mean, just it was amazing. It's it's truly amazing to have a fan base, and there's even I saw posts of Hamke race cars. We're we race against each other. I mean, I don't drive a Hamke race car, and they put out a post that you know congratulating or telling me cheering for me and stuff like that. And Donnie Wilson did. So there was a lot of teams that stepped up, and that's pretty neat. That's pretty cool. I got a lot of respect for those guys because they didn't have to do it. We raced each and every week against each other. So the short track world kind of come together a little bit and supported me, which is awesome.
That is
That's I was
cool.
telling Jacqueline earlier. I think it was a big win for short track racing in general, having you run that race and do that well. Because I even saw like Nick Hoffman, dirt racer,
Yep.
giving you a shout
Yep.
out on social media. So that it wasn't just the pavement people that were behind you; it was just short track racing in general, which is really cool.
Yeah, Jonathan Davenport reached out. I know Jonathan, but he reached out, and a lot of people, you know, mentioned it. They had things here in town for me in our hometown, which is small, where I went to high school. Just a lot of different groups coming together. That watch the race. It's pretty cool, and hopefully, I feel like that's what NASCAR needs. They needs that blue collar, old school kind of racer. Like you said, I respected Reem. I respect Reem and Junior. I like the Junior is a great organization because it's still that got that blue collar feel to me. Then I'm not saying Joe Gibbs or anything or Hendricks a bad organization, but it just fits who I am. I think as an organization to do it with those guys and where JR come from with Reem and his background and everything like that. It was just a perfect fit. And that's one of the reasons I done it is because of those guys being their involvement and uh, knowing the background and what Junior does for short track racing with Cars Tour and things like that, and how he has given people a shot like Josh Berry and things like that. It's pretty amazing.
So I know you don't know yet, but if things did come together, what would be the next race that you would want to run in Xfinity if everything comes together?
Um, so I've always said from the beginning, there's two tracks I've always wanted to go to, and Richmond was one of them. I didn't never want to go to Martinsville because I always said like somebody can dictate your day. Like everybody's in a pack racing together. To kind of fit my driving style, I want to go to Richmond and Iowa, and just so happens Iowa is open on for the '88 car. It's not taken yet, so hopefully we can get some sponsors, and if anybody wants to step up, we can make it happen. So that would be, I feel like, a place that kind of fits my driving style a little bit. Um, that would be good for us. So, if a kind of opportunity come about and we can make it happen, find some funding, we're going to try to go to Iowa. That would be the perfect scenario for me, I feel like.
Well, you're on the right podcast because we are Midwest Central here.
Yep.
So
Yep.
if anyone
We need a
listening
good local
wants to,
business. Yep. Local business
yeah.
back home. Yep.
So how do folks get in touch with you? Just through that Bubba Pollard fan page? Who runs that for you?
Yeah, so we got 9D Creative. They do a great job. We're fixing to put some new stuff out, update the website a little bit. We're gonna the response has been so overwhelming. We got to do something. We got to get it out there. We didn't know we had that many fans, and I think hopefully we gained some new fans, and hopefully some people that didn't know me or know where I come from or my background can start watching short track racing. That's the most important thing is we can get some other fans engaged in short track racing. It would be a win for everybody. So if you go to BubbaPollard.com, on Facebook there, or 9D Creative, Molly Hellman, or if you can't get in touch with me, you can contact Junior Motorsports there, and they can put you in touch with the right people to make some things happen. So there's some opportunities there. We just gotta make it all happen.
Maybe you can parlay that to help out your dirt track too.
Yeah, the dirt track is going. We're having a little rough year at the dirt track, but it's been the weather has been killing us down here. So we got a racing schedule for next week, but yeah, Sonoy Raceway 1969. We got, if you're traveling down to this area, we'd like for you to stop by. We got some bigger races throughout the year with the Peach State Classic and a lot of races that are on flow, so everyone can go out and check it out. And we'd love to have you there.
Do you still run your crate late model at your home track there, or do you?
No, so I hadn't gotten to race it much this year. We've been so busy with other things, and it's so hard. I'm a competitive guy, and it's like anything else you do. You have to do it full time all the time to be competitive at that deal. So I kind of got frustrated that I wasn't being able to spend enough time doing it. But I get to run it 2 or 3, 4 times a year, not as much as I want to. That's really where I'm headed. I really enjoy that dirt racing. It's a lot of fun to me. It's not as much pressure. I feel like we can just go out there and have some fun, enjoy the night, and not be there at the racetrack all day. So I'll only race it when we have some series comes in or something like that where they're kind of running the show. That way we don't have any, involvement over there, conflicts. So that's about the only time I get to race over there. But hopefully, one day we can get to race a little more.
My dream Bubba Pollard schedule for up here would be to have you come run the Dixieland again at Kaukauna, and then usually either the weekend before or after is the USA Nationals at Cedar Lake. So you can bring a dirt car and pavement car and just get to run a bunch of shows and go back home. So just something to keep in mind.
Yeah, we can get some sponsorship and some logistics down. That's the tough part. It's all these logistics.
So you're a third generation driver. So do you remember your grandpa racing? Were you involved at all when he was?
Nope. So he passed away before I was born. So
Okay.
I never knew my granddad. Yep. But I always heard stories. My dad tells me all kind of stories about when he raced, and he loved drag racing. That was his passion, and he loved gambling. So they gambled in drag races, but he would own the racetrack over here, and they gamble up in the stands. I remember Dad telling me stories, but he loved racing. My dad talks about all the time how excited he would be to know where we was now and where the racetrack is over here, and what my dad done in his career. I mean, if he had it any, if I guess I get it from my granddad and my dad. I just that desire to win, that desire just to compete at a high level. My dad tells me all the time of how hardworking he was and how he wanted to win at everything he done and be successful at everything he done. So I never knew him, but I think he'd be proud. And my dad's proud, and I'm great. I'm grateful and thankful to have a good family.
And I know you've got three girls. One is practically a newborn yet, but are the other two showing any interest in
Nah,
racing themselves?
no, I think I'm gonna be probably the last racer in the family. They're enjoying playing softball, and there's some cheerleading going on now. But they like the racing. They know what's going on, and they're very smart at paying attention. They don't say much; they're very quiet. But when we get home, they ask a lot of questions of why this, why that, and they know when things are different from week to week, and they know all the racetracks. They know race car drivers. They know the ones that I don't like, and they know the ones that don't like me. So they ask all those questions. So yeah, they're very much intrigued by the racing, but I think I may be the last straw here.
How did
No
you
more, no
explain?
more kids, no more kids.
Oh, okay. I was going to tell you one other thing too. There's a well-known fact that men who experience tremendous G forces tend to produce female
Really?
babies. So
I
apparently you're
never knew
going
that.
really fast. So yeah.
I never knew that. I have to tell my
Yeah.
wife on that one. Yeah.
Yeah, jet pilots, fire like fighter pilot jet
Uh huh.
flyers, pilots, those guys, race car drivers, anybody that has tremendous G forces has a tendency to
Wow.
produce more female babies.
Hmm. I didn't
You're
know
among that.
that.
I did want to ask you also about your schedule here then this year. So, are you able to hit all the big races that you want to do? I mean, obviously, I know you'll be back at the Snowball Derby, but are there any other one-off things that you're planning on doing? Are you planning to come up to the Midwest for maybe the Slinger Nationals or Kaukauna, Madison, any of that?
We're gonna try. I mean, it's just so tough. That time of year is super tough for us. The racetrack over here is put a hold on things. We stay busy. That's a busy time of year for the racetrack, and the girls in summertime. We're gonna right now just run all the ASA races, all the Southern Super Series races. We're gonna hit some SRL races that we can go to. I would like to. I plan to go to the Slinger Nationals every year. I plan to go to Kaukauna every year, and those places. We're definitely coming to the mile at Milwaukee. We'll be at Madison, and those races for sure. It's just I've went up. People, it's hard to get up and down the road and logistics and find the people. We're gone a lot, and this people think, oh, Bubba, he races all the time. He does this. He's got where it's not that easy. It's tough to get all these cars. The rules are different. And if to me everything's about timing. And if the time is not right, it doesn't make it um, sense in preparation for other races that we got coming up and logistics wise. So there's a lot that goes into it. People thinks it's just easy to load that thing up and go race, and I wish it was that easy, but um, it's tough. We plan on it, but you never know. We'll see, and hopefully we can get up that way.
Well, if nothing else, if you get a good sponsor, you can run Iowa for the Xfinity race and people can get
There
their
you go.
Bubba fix there.
There you go. Well, hopefully we can make that happen. I think the Iowa race, and let's see, is that's in that June swing there. There's a lot that's going on. I think it's Milwaukee. Is that Sunday after the Xfinity
Yep.
race, and then what's before that? Is it Madison? That Friday
I,
night.
I
So
believe
it would
so.
be. I think it's going to be tough to make it all happen if it all worked out.
Well, we're going to hope. And again, if anyone wants to get in touch with you for sponsoring to help make that Xfinity ride at Iowa perhaps happen, they just need to either get in touch with Junior Motorsports, reach out to that 9D Creative or your Bubba Pollard fan page, correct?
Yep, yep. Anybody come on board, we'd appreciate it, and then also for the late model, to get us up that way and to help us out, we sure would appreciate it.
All funds are appreciated. Yeah.
Yeah, oh
All
yeah.
right. Well, we'll let you get back to your family. Unless Dan, did you have another question? I hate to just keep
No,
railroading through.
I'm good. I'm just looking forward to seeing Bubba and Newton this summer.
I
Yeah,
sure
me
do
too.
appreciate it. I sure do appreciate you guys having me on. It's always a lot of fun. I enjoy it.
Well, good luck to you the rest of the season, and I hope you get that sponsorship you need to run Iowa for the Xfinity Series. Good luck, Bubba.
Thank you.